Jerry Selby is no longer young. Every day he wakes up and goes to work, wondering if it will be his last day on a job. One day, while speaking to the board of directors, he hints that despite his age, he can still manage his department. However, Jerry is still forced to retire. That same evening, he and his wife have a family dinner, and their children give him a boat to cheer him up. Although he is happy to receive such a gift, the sadness of losing his job stays with him. A month later, Jerry goes to his friend Steve and asks how much his investing account has increased. However, it turns out that the profit was insignificant. His friend tries to convince him to invest in stocks, promising higher returns, but Jerry is against it. He is afraid of losing his money. He finally decides to take his boat out on the water, but due to inexperience and carelessness, he almost sinks his car. In the last moment, he manages to dry out of the water, but accidentally breaks the boat engine. Jerry decides to have a cup of coffee in the nearest diner. He notices an advertisement for the windfall lottery. After reading the rules, Jerry starts calculating the chances of winning and discovers a loophole in the lottery that could help him win. Jerry tells Steve about his discovery, but Steve doesn't believe him. He is convinced that the game creators would not allow someone to take the money so easily. Despite Steve's doubts, Jerry decides to test his theory. He withdraws $2,000 from his bank account and buys lottery tickets for the entire amount. On the day of the lottery drawing, Jerry sits down to check his tickets, but unfortunately, his wife Marge returns home. She is surprised to see her husband watching a show with a lottery drawing, but Jerry turns off the TV, pretending to be indifferent and saying that he turned it on by accident. When his spouse leaves, Jerry turns the TV back on and writes down the winning numbers. Sitting in a diner, he checks his tickets and realizes he's in a negative. During a meeting with guests, Jerry becomes so absorbed in his thoughts about the lottery that he forgets to keep the conversation going. Marge notices her husband's strange behavior. Later, she starts a conversation about luck, and Jerry suddenly realizes that the reason for his loss was the luck factor that he didn't take into account in his calculations. The next day, he goes to the bank and cashes out $8,000 and buys more lottery tickets. During the day, Jerry has lunch with his wife and friends, who share that they bought some lottery tickets, trying their luck. In turn, Marge mentions that she and her husband don't like risky deals where they could lose money, and their friends agree, telling stories about crazy people who spend thousands of dollars on such games. Listening to his wife and friends' conversation, Jerry starts to realize that he's one of those crazy people. The next day, checking the lottery results, the man learns that he won $15,000, which is almost twice the amount he spent on tickets. On the same evening, Jerry accidentally mentioned that he plays the lottery, but to his surprise, Marge didn't blame him for being interested in gambling. Instead, she was very happy that they had something to do for fun, and finally, after many years, they could enjoy themselves and have a good time together. When the spouse planned to buy tickets for a lottery $15,000, they find out that the lottery in their state is closed, and they have to go to Massachusetts to buy tickets. The elderly couple is full of enthusiasm and not afraid of difficulties. They wake up early and set off on their journey. After reaching the neighboring state, they stop at a gas station, where they find a lottery machine. They have to stay until the evening, because the machine only prints 1,000 tickets per hour. After renting a hotel room, the spouse checked the lottery numbers that had been drawn and began to check the tickets they had bought. After working on it all night, they calculated that they had won $21,000. On their way home, Marge came up with an idea to attract more people to the lottery in order to increase their winnings. Together with Jerry, they decided to establish their own corporation. They invited their friends and people from the town, whom they had known for many years. When Jerry and Marge returned to the gas station, they already purchased $40,000 worth of tickets. A seller named Bill is surprised at how the retirees have so much money, and Marge explains that she and her husband are professional lottery players. In the end, Bill also becomes a member of their investing club. In the morning, our heroes find out that their amount doubled and is now $80,000. Jerry and Marge then stop there and continue buying tickets for the entire amount, doubling their savings after each lottery. Meanwhile, at Harvard University, a student named Tyler conducts research on the lottery, calculating the odds of winning. After running a simulation of the drawing, he comes to the conclusion that there is a 100% chance of winning. Tyler decides to collect money from other students and play the lottery, claiming that he is the first to come up with such a scheme and promising that they will all become legends who won the lottery. Jerry decides to buy lottery tickets worth $600,000, hoping to get as much money as possible from the lottery before Loophole is discovered and closed. He spent a large portion of the winnings on recreating a jazz festival in a city that other residents loved so much. The Harvard students also received their profits, but one of them realizes that the winnings should be more, and after checking all the lottery data, he discovers that someone won the majority of the money. The guys realize that there is a second group of people who are earning money from the lottery. The new batch of lottery tickets goes on sale, and Jerry and Marge print them while celebrating their 46th wedding anniversary. At that time, Tyler and Eric come in and start sneaking at the sight of an elderly couple, because they originally intended to see a criminal group. The guys offer the elderly people to join their group instead of playing separately, but Jerry is against it. He refuses the offer, and the guys leave with nothing. A few days later, Tyler comes back to Michigan and threatens Jerry to hack into all his investors' accounts. He assures the man that his group will have no trouble finding information about everyone involved in the winnings. He asks Jerry to stop playing the lottery, as he has already received a lot of money. The man realizes that continuing to participate in the lottery is risky, and at an investor meeting, Jerry announces that they are quitting the game. However, after talking with his son and wife, the man decides not to give up and to keep playing. Tyler found out that people were buying a lot of lottery tickets in Massachusetts again, so he came up with a plan for his group to buy the tickets first and intercept the jackpot, but he needed a large sum of money to do so. He asked his father's business colleagues for help, and they were willing to invest in his idea. The group was able to carry out their plan successfully. After learning about Tyler's scheme, Jerry goes to the university and publicly shames him in front of all the other students, accusing him of using their help to become richer without sharing any of the winnings. After Jerry leaves, the students stop checking lottery tickets. Meanwhile, journalist Maya Jordan from the Boston Globe discovers during her investigation that Jerry and Tyler are frequent lottery winners. She visits Jerry and he shows her a box filled with lottery tickets. He tells her that he and his wife enjoy checking tickets from morning until night, and that it makes them happy. The director of the Boston Globe demands a devastating article from the journalist, but she discovers that Jerry spends his winnings on developing the city. The day comes when Jerry and Marge decide to play one last time, and their winnings will be enough to restore the city. When they arrive at the gas station as usual, they see that the lottery machines are being removed from their regular point of purchase. They find out that the lottery leaders revoked the license after an article about the vulnerability of the game was published in a newspaper. In the evening, Jerry and his wife attend an investors meeting, and are surprised to see that the residents have organized a jazz festival in the city. The residents confess that on the last day, they themselves went to all the trading points in the state, where lottery machines were still available, and bought all the tickets. They are all grateful to Jerry for what he has done for them and for the city. The movie ends with a dance between Jerry and Marge, who sneak away from the festival to count their lottery winnings. They use most of the money to improve their hometown, and also invest in the education of their children, like many of their friends and neighbors. During their time playing the lottery, Jerry won $27 million.